In this video we will understand human relations approach. Let's start. Introduction. 1. Introduction to the term organization. The term organization has different meanings depending on the context and perspective. Barnard defines an organization as a system of consciously coordinated personal activities or forces involving two or more people. An organization is a structured entity with people working at various levels. Its structure varies based on its form, the type of interactions it has with people, and how it divides functions. Theorists have developed models categorized as closed and open organizations. 2. Closed model of organization. The closed model of organization is also known as bureaucratic, hierarchical, and formal. It exists in a routine and stable environment. It is based on the principles of scientific management. Distinct features include: hierarchy is fundamental. Specialization of tasks through division of labor. Vertical interactions focused on securing obedience and command. Emphasis on means rather than ends. 3. Open model of organization. The open model of organization is characterized by a cooperative system with interactions within and outside the organization. Focus on variables like emotions, informal norms. Emphasis on specialized knowledge contributing to common tasks. Interaction between people at horizontal and vertical levels. Importance assigned to ends or goals rather than means. 4. Evolution from classical theory to human relations theory. The classical theory of organization provided predetermined principles for hierarchical and systematic organizational functioning. Emphasis in classical theory was on structure and formal organization. During the 1920s, social factors at work and employee behavior began to gain importance. Human relations theory emerged as a result of the human relations movement, focusing on the effects of social relations, motivation, and employee satisfaction on productivity. Human relations approach emphasizes the human aspects of the organization, including emotions, feelings, personal motivation, and informal norms. It contrasts with the classical theory's focus on the structural aspects of the organization. Human relations approach highlights the importance of understanding the human psyche, natural human groupings, communication, and leadership in organizational productivity. Early experiments of Elton Mayo conducted early research in 1923 at a textile mill near Philadelphia. Known as the first inquiry, the study aimed to understand the impact of fatigue and working conditions on production levels. Mayo observed that physical fatigue was a key demotivating factor affecting productivity. Giving 2 rest periods of 10 minutes each to workers had a positive impact on their morale and productivity. Mayo suggested a bonus scheme based on production percentage to motivate workers. He believed that repetitive work under isolated conditions led to psychological issues and higher turnover. The human relations approach took shape from Mayo's experiments at the Hawthorne plant between 1924 and 1932, focusing on the relationship between work conditions and employee productivity. Human relations studies. 1. Great illumination. The Hawthorne experiments involved illumination level studies and relay assembly experiments. In the illumination experiments, productivity was not significantly affected by changes in illumination levels. The researchers discovered that factors such as attention from the research team, incentive wage plans, and improved working conditions increased productivity. 2. Relay assembly experiments. Relay assembly experiments emphasized the impact of social factors, group dynamics, and the role of supervisors in productivity. The experiments highlighted the importance of factors such as team dynamics, sympathetic supervision, and worker participation in enhancing productivity. 3. Interviewing program. The interviewing program aimed to understand human attitudes and sentiments related to productivity. The initial direct questioning method yielded vague and subjective responses. A non-directive and open-ended interviewing approach was adopted, allowing workers to freely express their thoughts and feelings. This approach revealed the significance of human attitudes and sentiments in the workplace and the role of informal social forces within organizations. 4. Bank Wiring Observation Room. The Bank Wiring Observation Room study revealed the existence of informal groups within the organization. Despite a financial incentive scheme, the group limited its output based on its own standard. The group's behavior was influenced more by informal social dynamics than by management's incentive schemes. Mayo's experiments emphasized the importance of considering human emotions, sentiments, and interactions in managing industrial relations. Management should aim to strike a balance between technical and human aspects, emphasizing skills in understanding human behavior, counseling, motivation, leadership, and communication. Significance of Hawthorne studies. 1. Human relations approach from Hawthorne experiments. The human relations approach evolved from the Hawthorne experiments, focusing on the emotional aspects of human behavior in the workplace. Work satisfaction was found to be dependent on the informal social patterns within work groups. Mayo concluded that job satisfaction increased with workers having more freedom in their working conditions and setting their own output standards. Enhanced interaction and cooperation fostered a strong sense of group cohesion. Job satisfaction and productivity were more influenced by cooperation and a sense of worth rather than physical working conditions. 2. Tenets of human relations theory. Individual workers should be understood as members of a group rather than in isolation. Informal groups in the workplace significantly influence workers' behavior. Productivity is largely influenced by social and psychological factors rather than physical work conditions. Organizational conditions strongly influence workers' work habits and attitudes, and managers must be aware of and cater to social needs to foster collaboration within the organization. A good manager blends technical expertise with social capabilities. 3. Significance of Hawthorne experiments. The Hawthorne experiments laid the foundation for the study of emotional and intellectual well-being in organizational behavior and modern motivation theories. Complex variables such as individual attention, worker control over their work, diverse individual needs, management's receptiveness, group norms, and direct feedback play a vital role in motivating people in organizations. Mayo highlighted that the worker-management adversarial relationship arose from misunderstandings and distrust. Management's focus solely on economic efficiency led to alienation among workers, resulting in conflicts. Mayo emphasized that management must align workers' interests with the organization and acquire necessary social skills to encourage workers' participation. An appraisal of human relations approach. 1. Criticism of Hawthorne experiments. Scholars criticized the Hawthorne experiments on methodological grounds, citing theoretical constraints, situational bias, and lack of evidence regarding workers' home life. Sample size issues were raised, questioning the reliability of the studies. Some critics pointed out that the studies didn't fully appreciate the complexity of human nature and relationships within the work environment. The impact of technological factors on productivity was not adequately considered. The emphasis on group decision-making overshadowed the importance of individual decision-making. 2. Further criticisms of Hawthorne experiments. Some scholars, including Carey and Bell, argued that the experiments focused too much on making workers content and neglected the broader aspects of human capacity and freedom. Critics highlighted that economic benefits might have motivated workers more than social benefits. The Hawthorne studies were accused of encouraging manipulative techniques to control workers. Critics argued that assumptions of conflict-free states and worker contentment were unrealistic and that healthy outlets were necessary for addressing tensions and conflicts in organizations. 3. Importance and development of human relations approach. Despite criticism, the Hawthorne experiments were considered a turning point in management thinking. Providing insights into human behavior at work and emphasizing the humanization of the work organization. The human relations approach led to the generation of new ideas on group relationships and leadership styles. Subsequent theorists like Abraham Maslow, Frederick Herzberg, and Douglas MacGregor expanded on the ideas of the human relations approach. Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs and Herzberg's hygiene and growth factors added depth to the understanding of individual motivation. MacGregor's Theory X and Theory Y further extended Mayow's discrediting of the Rabble hypothesis and had wider implications for leadership and management. The notes of this video is provided into description box. Please check it out. Thank you.